Yeah, words about books, Ben.
Words about
Are you
books.
ready to discuss a book we like? Because
Is this
I'm
the
ready.
intro? Are we
I
talking?
don't know. Do you have an intro, Ben?
No.
Then yes, this is the intro.
Okay, so this is Words About Books. I'm Ben, he's Nate, and we're talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas.
Is that how you say your name?
I hope. How would you say it?
Well, the audible person said math.
Okay, we can go with Maas.
Oh, but look at that. The Google pronounce does say Sarah J Maas. It's one of those two. I don't know how it would be Mass either, but wait a minute. There's a tweet. It's pronounced Mass. Okay. Oh, as in Massachusetts or Mass Effect. Yeah? Yeah. I bet she likes Mass Effect. Good call.
She very well may.
Good. All right, Ben. So this is something you picked in our judging books by their cover.
Oh, is this the Judging Books by Their Cover book?
It is.
I thought I was just going to give you this one for free.
No, you said it was the easiest pick you ever made, though.
Well, yeah, because it was a real book or several just terrible books. So, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'll tell you like what I knew about it going in. I know that it is one of the most popular books of like the last 10 years. I know that booktok loves it. I see this book, or I guess I did. I don't see it as much anymore. It's been enough time, but like every popular on booktok display at every bookstore in existence now said Sarah J Maas, Court of Thorns and Roses. They're just so popular with the kids and whatnot.
The kids these days.
Yeah, I think it's probably more popular with adult women than the kids.
It really should be, right? I mean, it's classified as new adults.
New
right?
adult, yeah. That's okay. That's
Which
a genre
is
they've been
different
trying
than
to
a
make
young
happen
adult.
for a while.
It's like young adult, but a few years more, right?
It's literally that. Like, they've been trying to make that happen for a long time because young adult is mostly popular with not young adults.
Yeah, I might as well just call it teen or tween, right?
Well, I was going to say it's mostly popular with the 20 to 30 somethings.
I don't know if I would say that, but okay.
I don't think children read that many books.
I don't know if I'd call them children.
Okay,
Teens,
teenagers. They're children.
Ben, like everyone that I knew who read Twilight was a teen.
It's because
You were a
everyone
teen.
you knew was a teen.
Yeah.
But there was the whole Twilight moms thing.
Well,
Anyway, the point is,
the young adult genre has like a stench to it, right? Like they're like, ugh, I don't want to be classified as young adult. Ugh, gross.
I guess I don't know if that.
New
I don't
adult.
even know if I agree with that either. Like,
Well, you're wrong, Ben.
it does among the people who ignore it's like the most popular thing on the planet, I guess.
Yeah. Popular, Ben. Like pop music. Also
Right.
garbage. Got him.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift,
yeah.
you owe me a birthday.
It just has this stench to it where hipsters don't like it, and therefore it must not actually be cool because anybody cares.
Do
what the
hipsters
think.
not like it because you like Twilight?
Oh, there you go. You're calling me a hipster. I got you. I am a hipster, and I'm about to tell you because I don't like booktok and bookstagram. I don't think I don't vibe with them. Okay,
You don't vibe with them.
I don't. Okay, so like Threads is a thing now, right? The Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I wear Threads
Twitter.
every day. Oh,
Yeah. So on Threads, there's all these new like bookstagram accounts popped on Threads, and I followed a bunch of them because I want news and insights from the book community. And then there's all these threads that it's like, can we just not say bad things about books? Can we just agree that some books aren't for some people, and that's okay. And we don't need to be negative about books. And I was like, no, I don't know about that. No, that's not really my thing.
Sounds like someone didn't read any Ernest Cline.
Well, the funny thing was, and Bookstagram, BookTok, there's two kinds that I have noticed, and BookTube, I guess, is there's the scandalous, like, authors doing bad things sort of content, and then there's the just somebody standing in front of a bookshelf that is filled with things they have not and will not read, but
House of Leaves is always in there, right?
Yeah, and they just got a big old stack of books, and they're telling you, like, I read this book, and this is good, and this is good, and it's just all very cozy and saccharine, and I hate it.
And boring.
Thank you. Yes. Somebody throw a pie.
What the hell is this? For crying out loud, somebody throw a pie!
Saying, but
you know what they could do? They could make a cake look like the title of a book and then throw that cake at someone.
That's good. Cake thing, yeah. But anyway, so this was really popular with that crowd. That crowd that is like very, let's not say negative things about books. Let's be very positive all the time, which is just not, I can't even exist in that headspace. I don't even know what it would be like. So...
Does that also hinder them from reading varieties of books?
I don't want to get it.
All right, that's fair, Ben.
I don't want to start a war with that community. Like, that kind of content is fine if it's your thing. It's not my thing. I'm not a positive person.
No, you're playing into their hands. They're now admitting we can't talk badly about them, Ben.
My point is, I don't vibe with most of the audience for this book. I just don't vibe. Okay? I don't pass the vibe check a lot of the time. And I was worried about that because it was like so popular. And then I read, a back of the book kind of synopsis preview. I didn't get a lot of spoilers, but I started seeing what it was about. And I was like, well, I might like that. That seems like the kind of thing I don't mind doing. And I wound up hearing that the author was like really into Sailor Moon. And I'm really into Sailor Moon. So I was like, well, if it's that kind of romance, and there is definitely a character ripped right out of Sailor Moon in this. So that was like, oh, maybe I would like it. Maybe I would like it. And then people actually started recommending it to me who I knew. So I was like, okay. And then I started doing this thing on another podcast I'm on. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster. I don't even know if I got it right. But within that, there is a sub-podcast called Heroin Addiction, where we read Korean romance comics. And I've gotten super into those. And I was like, this seems a lot like one of those. So, let's do it. Let's just bite the bullet. By the sheer virtue of this book's popularity, this is going to be one of our most downloaded episodes ever. So, I'm just writing a check and taking it to the bank, and whether people like it or hate it, I know this one's going to pop. So, yeah, we have to do it. But then there was the added benefit that it's actually pretty good.
Oh my god!
Hell has officially frozen over.
You didn't see that coming.
Yeah. What a twist, right?
Yeah, I was actually shocked of how much I like this as I started getting into it.
Yeah.
I was expecting a young adult book, Ben.
There's a weird thing going on with my expectations where I was like, I was prepared for the worst and hoping for the best. And I think that's helped a lot in my enjoyment of the book, because it's not like a work of literary magic. It's not going to blow your mind.
My mind was blown, Ben.
Was
repeatedly.
Did you not, okay, for me, when I was reading it, I knew everything that was going to happen.
No, you didn't, Ben. How could you possibly?
Because it's Beauty and the Beast.
So very rarely do I actually get, the theming, but I was like, this is like Beauty and the Beast about a few chapters in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when Tamlin's form is basically, his beast form is like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. I actually thought that he was going to be in his beast form the entire time until that happened. I think that would have been a little too on the nose.
Yeah. It's a reimagining. I'll give it that. And I think Sarah J Maas would acknowledge the inspiration if she hasn't already.
I looked it up and totally has. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of saw where that was going. So, do you want to jump into a summary? Do you want to talk a little bit more about your initial impressions?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a young adult, romance. I thought this was going to be like Twilight, Ben. I didn't think it would be like City of Bone because, I didn't hear anything about incest, so I knew it wasn't going to be that bad, but, I was thinking, Twilight. I think I was going to be really annoyed by the romance, and that would just go on forever, but surprisingly, no, Ben.
I don't think my expectations were that low, and I like Twilight.
Yeah, you do like Twilight.
But I was surprised by how readable it is. It's not like every page is a poem. There are some issues here and there with the prose. But yeah, for the most part, it's really easy to read. The sentences flow. That I was kind of surprised by. I was expecting the caliber of writing of maybe not Twilight, but I don't know, a James Patterson or something. I was expecting just get it all on the page. Who cares how it reads?
Okay.
And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. Somebody put a lot of thought and rewrote.
I thought I was going to have a main character who was you could fill in yourself in this character, so they've got no personality and they're kind of boring, and all the cool people are the other characters. But I didn't get that either, Ben. I actually liked Farah despite her name, which initially turned me off, but I was surprised pleasantly that she was a character and she was capable at things.
Yeah, I would say there's the Beauty and the Beast thing, which makes up the bulk of the book. But there's definitely some inspiration taken from the paranormal YA fiction. She's capable, but she's inferior for most of the book, except when she's not. There's a few points here and there where she's just a badass.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's certainly not a Bella.
God, no. Which is what I was worried about. Or I can't remember her name. Clarabelle. Clary. Who was the most useless person. I don't remember her actually doing anything except avoiding getting killed twice in a row and accidentally winning a fight.
Yeah, she's more capable than Clary. Would you argue, though, that she is more capable than a Katniss?
Well, you haven't read Hunger Games.
No, I haven't. That's why I'm asking you.
I think they're probably around the same level.
Because that's what I was going to say. I think she took the best stuff from that. Now I'm mixing the dystopian thing with the paranormal YA romance, but it seems like she took some of the most popular elements from the YA fiction of the time, added a few spicy bits, aged her up to 19.
Thank God.
Yep. That was
how many times? That.
How many times have we said that's all you got to do? That's all you got to do.
And we were right.
Yeah. Now I can't pick that apart. Okay, she's 19. Granted, he's 3,000 or something, but you know what? Legal. It's not right, but it's legal.
Yeah. Also, I just realized she likes Mass Effect, and there is a part of this book that we will get to that felt like, and I even wrote in my notes, a BioWare end of the game lore dump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The end is kind of...
Right before we're going to go off to the final boss, real quick, I gotta explain everything and fill in all the blanks.
There's a few places, like, this is what I'm saying. It's not a literary masterpiece. It's not going to blow your mind. If you've heard things about it and it doesn't sound like your cup of tea, it's not going to be your cup of tea. And I've read reviews, as we do, positive and negative. And a lot of the negative ones are like, I don't get all the hype. And this, I think it's kind of that thing where the fans of it maybe have hyped it up too much, or they've become so obnoxious that they've kind of ruined it. Didn't happen for me, but I don't want to go in and tell you, like, this is the greatest book in the world. This is an absolute must read. But, like, the popularity is earned, at the very least, I would say.
I would agree.
I don't really have an about the author for this one. I didn't really look up anything,
What?
including
Ben,
how to
that's
pronounce
your
her
job. That's
Yeah,
why
I
you're
didn't
here
get
on
into
this
it.
podcast. You didn't get into any weird forums where she picked a fight with a fan or something and talked about incest at length? No.
name. I kind of didn't want to know. I mean, she's like...
You didn't want to ruin it the way City of Bones was totally ruined by all the weird incest and forums shit.
All right, if you got some dirt on Sarah J Maas,
No.
hop in our Discord and you let me know all about it. And you can ruin it for me the way I ruined City of Bones for so many people. But she seems... I mean, I only know what she wrote about herself in the other parts of the book. Did you read any of that stuff, or...
No. Ben, we've
Okay.
been over this. I don't read the back of the book, okay? I don't do extra work on top of the stuff I already have to read, okay?
Well, it seems like she's a big old nerd. She references a bunch of nerd stuff, including Sailor Moon in the acknowledgement section. I know she's married. She said the book was basically dedicated to her husband. She wrote it for him.
Oh my god, get a room, you guys.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you have a loving family, you jerk.
All good writing comes from angst and strife. I don't know. Maybe there's some other darkness in her life. I don't know. Or maybe not. And that's why she copied Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. It sounds like she was a lit major, or a creative writing major, maybe. Sounds like she got book deals pretty close to right out of college.
Damn. What are we doing, Ben? What are we doing, Ben? Why-
Oh, with our lives?
Yeah,
Yes, I don't know, man. Why don't we just copy, I don't know, what's a classic fairy tale?
The Fox and the Hound.
Is there a way that isn't just depressing as shit? I don't know. People eat up that stuff, though. People really like depressing stuff, too. Yeah.
Yeah. You just gotta mix it with a little bit of, like, romance. Romeo and Juliet, right?
But you just age her up, so it's not weird.
Yeah.
She's not like 13.
You age her up so that the actress playing her can actually go to a theater and see her in the movie without being turned away for...
Without being accompanied by an adult.
Oh,
Oh, Christ.
God,
Well, I
and
mean,
they
her boyfriend
sued.
could take her. He's an adult.
yeah. I don't know if that's better, Ben. In fact, it sounds worse.
It does. Well, just remember that, like in Shakespeare times, they were played by little boys.
Perfect.
Anyway, let's talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses. Let's talk about this story.
The deep lore, Ben.
So, A Court of Thorns and Roses is set in a world where there exist two, I don't know if you'd call them species, but there's like two kinds of being.
Yeah.
There's fairies.
Kick-ass, awesome, master race, sunglasses wearing fairies. And then you've got like gross little dirty humans. Ew, God, disgusting. Over
Yeah.
there. Ugh. Huh.
So we're
I want to
told
vomit
that
just thinking about them. Ugh.
I know. They can't even use magic.
Yeah. What are they good for except manual labor?
That's actually an interesting question, and including manual labor. Like, I don't want to pick on the world building too much, because it's not really the point at
My
this
guess,
stage.
Ben, is we're like rabbits to them. Like, we breed just so much faster than fairies. Because they mentioned they hardly have no children, the High Fae do.
They ain't got no children,
it takes them
dog.
like 75 years. Yeah, they don't got no children. CPS has been abolished because there's just no children. It takes 75 years to mature. Whereas humans are over there just like, yeah, in 75 years, we've already got like grand or great-grandchildren, bro.
Yeah.
You've got 4 generations in the time it takes you to have one child.
So
Checkmate.
in the past of this world, humans were enslaved to fairies. Now, this was one thing that bothered me. I don't know if it bothered you. What, even in a slave situation, could humans possibly provide to the fairies that they couldn't just magic?
Ben, you think I want to waste some of my magic plowing that field out there? That's not a euphemism, okay? I don't want to have to plant crops with my magic. I know that I have magic that could do that.
Do plant crops with their magic, though.
I really don't want to, Ben. You know how much effort that would have to, like, stand up and, like, wave my hand and shoot out magic. I don't want to do that.
Nathaniel, did you forget the one festival where
no,
they're
Ben, I
they're
will
like,
never forget that.
We need to do this festival. You're not invited, Farah. You can't come, please. Just tie a little blindfold around your eyes and put plugs in your ears. You do not want to know what's happening at this festival, but we are boinking to create magic to sustain a healthy harvest. They've got a sex festival.
Yeah, Ben.
To ensure a good crop. Like, dude.
But after that, who's going to be planting those crops, Ben? You? Actually, yes. Get to work.
Yeah, I guess.
Look, I don't want to have to take the few minutes to get up and use my magic, because those are a few minutes I could be using to have magical sex parties, okay? That's taken me away from the magic sex party for a few minutes. That's why I've got humans.
They absolutely, considering the sheer amount of pages this series spans, at some point we're going to have to get into some of this. Because, like, I still am not sold on the idea that human slaves provide any value to the fairies. And I am super duper not sold on the humans won a war for their freedom against the fairies.
Well, there were fairies that joined the human side.
Yeah, there were fairies that joined the human side. Why?
Because it was the right thing to do, Ben.
Oh yeah, that's won a lot of wars in the past.
Yeah, you wake up one day, you look outside, you see there's like 100 humans like burning in the summer heat, and you're like, you know what? This isn't right. I should kill other fairies for their freedom. There you go.
Like,
if it helps, I think I have read that the next book has more to do with the mortal world and how that's going.
I'm interested in what there almost has to be something that humans can do that the fairies can't.
Yeah, we can touch ash.
Okay, there's one thing humans can do that the fairies can't, and that is we can... the bark of the ash tree, I guess ash wood, is lethal to fairies.
Yeah. Checkmate.
Now,
there you go.
Now, I know the fairies have made it so that isn't actually one of the most common trees on the planet.
I would bet that there's a decent amount. Because I'd be planting a grove of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, every human would have an ash tree in their yard.
Yeah.
Like, you would not be able to walk down the street without seeing an ash tree.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're
I
not
wouldn't-
growing more of these.
I wouldn't be carving runes into my door to try and keep fairies out. I'd just build my house out of ash. Literally, the entire village would be made of ash.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our world, Ben. There's
Yeah.
a world where a long time ago humans totally won all on their own. We later learned not on their own against the fairies, and they got their freedom, and there was a treaty that threw up a wall between their world and our world, and they suck and we hate them, and if you ever see a fairy, you run away because they're going to eat you and assault you and kill you.
You know what I was thinking though? So the fairies, like, there's different levels of fairy. You've got like fae creatures can just be they can run the gamut from like animal to Superman, and the Superman ones are called high fae, and they there's like higher fae and low fae or something, and
middle fae and
well, no, like there's two
fae.
kinds of fae that have like sentient intelligence. They're probably more than two kinds. There's a lot of fae that are sentient, but like they have
Ben,
to follow
we're probably going to
rules
find out that humans are secretly fae or something.
Yeah, there's something weird going on. So like I don't want to pick on it too much because I'm betting it's going to fix some of these problems for me. Like, so anyway, the high fae, they're super strong, super fast. They can change into animal forms, and like I think there's like middle transformations where they can change like into an animal, but they can also change into like a were version of that animal, like a werewolf or a werebear or a were-tamlin.
Were-tamlin, yeah.
And they just body humans one shot. But you know, and they regenerate super fast. They heal
unless you ash them.
Unless you ash them.
Yeah.
But if you theoretically, because we see this fairy on fairy violence, they don't really use ash weapons to kill other fairies. They just like tear their heads off. So
you could do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like theoretically, you shoot a ballistic missile at a fairy, you're gonna kill it.
I wondered if part of it was like the old fantasy trope of since humans have much shorter lives, they are more ambitious and they
live life to the fullest.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas the fairies grow bored with their lot in life. Yeah, no, that never.
Yeah,
never happened,
and we've got to build tech to compete. So yeah, let's get the ballistic missiles. Next time the fairies cross the wall, we will fucking rain hell on them.
That's what I'm thinking. Like if we can just delay this oncoming fairy genocide for like 100 more years, we get muskets, and then we can just go like 100 more years.
Once we can get a truck and a big old rack that can just fire 400 missiles.
Once we get gunpowder, we can just line that invisible wall with mines.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mines that would explode and splinter tons and tons of ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, what about ash dust? You could just like gas them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we could kill these fairies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we could probably win this war. Fairies are playing on easy mode over there with their magic. They don't even know. They don't even know what's waiting for them. But you're not really supposed to be sitting around thinking about how you personally would kill the fairies.
Yeah.
That's just a strange tangent we went down.
So, alright, who are our main characters, Ben? We got Feyre.
Our main character is Feyre, the Belle / Cinderella / Katniss of the book. Her family has fallen on hard financial times.
Times.
They used to be nobility. I guess they still are technically nobility, but they got no money.
I don't know if you can call yourself nobility if you're broke as shit.
Well, it doesn't stop most of the nobles in the world. I guess they got money, but
so
if you're some guy that owns most of England, I guess you can just call yourself a noble. But anywho.
So yeah, we got Feyre's dad, who I think we never know his name, right? He's just Dad.
I don't know if we know his name.
He fell into some trouble a few years ago with some debt collectors, and they were like, you know what? We're not just gonna bust your kneecap. We're gonna bust your whole fucking leg. Get him! And so they ruined that guy's entire ability to walk. And so he's like, I'm gonna make some wood carvings to provide for my family.
Okay, so I don't know if this was the actual inspiration for this, because, like, obviously this happened all the time. But basically, she kind of, in my opinion, stole the dad's backstory from The Merchant of Venice, where Antonio is a merchant, right? And he borrows a bunch of money that he gives his friend to get married, and it's going to be okay because when his ships get back, they're going to come back with all this money, he can pay off the loan, and everything will be cool.
Merchant of Venice.
Yeah, but then his ships crash, and now in Shakespeare, it's a racist comedy, but in this, it's just a tragedy because he gets his kneecaps busted.
And his entire leg, really.
Yeah, so he walks with a
never
limp.
The same. Like, he was a loser before his leg got busted, but now he's like even worse. Now he's like,
sucks.
I'm gonna use this as an excuse to just not do anything but my little wood carving.
But you know who else sucked? You know who else sucked was Farrah's mom.
Farrah's mom really sucked.
Yeah, she was a socialite, and the best thing she ever did for her family was die. But before she died, she made sure to burden Farrah, a woman in a classist, male-dominated society whose only role would really be to be married off. She told Farrah that she's in charge of the family now, and she has to protect them for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And
make a promise to look after your family.
Yeah, and Farrah was like, yeah, pinky promise. So then Farrah's got two sisters, and they kind of suck.
Yeah, Nesta and Elaine. Nesta's a stuck-up who kind of hates everyone and is cruel, and Elaine seems like instead of a brain, she just has like air between her head.
Yeah, I was gonna say
she's nice.
Yeah,
she's nice, but like, if you need someone to help you hunt to put food on the table, not gonna happen.
Yeah, they give her the Farrah brings home a deer, and they give her the old well, you butcher it because you're so much better at it. Like, I would just make a mess of it. Like,
yes, you guys better pray nothing bad ever happens to me. Da da da.
Yeah. So the beginning of the book starts off with her in the woods, right?
Yep.
She's hunting for the family because they're so poor they cannot eat. They have no money for food, so she has to take game out of the forest. But this time of year, most of the game has already been chased.
Yeah, it's winter.
Deeper and deeper into the forest where it is dangerous to go. And more recently, these giant wolves have been sighted. And
I'm sure nothing like that's going to come into play, though.
Yeah, because as we established, this is the beginning of high strangeness on
Get the
Faye
fuck
Walker
out of
Ranch.
here. Get the fuck out of here.
That's what they should have called it. Hunt for the Faye Walker.
Yeah, if she wanted to sell like 1 million less copies, she probably should have.
So Farrah's wandering into this wolf territory.
Yeah, she finds a nice, succulent, delicious doe. Hasn't seen her yet. That's gonna be meat for weeks. But then there's this motherfucking wolf in the adjoining bush. I imagine it's like snout and eyes are just poking out of the bush, and then the camera pans slightly to the left, and it's Farrah's eyes just looking at him like, what the fuck is that? That thing's gigantic. And now they keep saying she murders this wolf with hate in her heart, because she's pretty sure that this is a fairy. This thing is gigantic. I think it's walking on 2 legs.
I don't think it's walking on 2 legs, but it's sus. It
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, so she gets out her one and only ash arrow that she bought a few years ago off a merchant because she's like, I'm pretty sure this is a fairy, and if the legends are true, this arrow is made of ash and it's tipped with iron. It's gonna wreck this fairy shit. And they keep saying like you killed him with hate in your heart. And it's like, okay, that was true, but she also killed him with hunger in her belly. Like, the reason she went after the wolf is because the wolf was going to get her deer, and she was like, if he gets the deer, I will have nothing to show for this hunt, and we're all going to starve to death. I've got to fight a fairy for my shitty family who hates me.
I had to keep reminding myself that Feyre was in fact a 19-year-old girl and not a 35-year-old man who's read every fantasy book. Because I had a lot of solutions to all of these problems. Because, yeah. And, well, the thing I love, too, is, like, this maybe is unintentional, but Tamlin comes across as, like, an out-of-touch white liberal. When he does eventually meet her, he's like, I was like really like pro freeing the humans. I thought that was the right thing to do. And then he sees her and he's like, are all people this poor? Oh my God. I can't believe the way your family treated you. And it's like, okay, buddy, she at least had a house. Like her family owns land. Let me introduce you to some tenant farmers. I could show you how bad off humanity is. Like, you could have, I'm just saying, you know, you could have sent him beyond the wall. Like, you didn't do a lot of reconstruction, I guess is what I'm saying. There's an analogy here. I don't know to what. But yeah. So she's got this thing where she's like, okay, it's either a fairy or it's a giant wolf. Either way, ash arrow kills both. So she pulls back the bow. The wolf kills the doe. That's a twofer. And she shoots the ash arrow. She shoots it
right in the fucking eye.
Yeah, it's like she shoots it through his eye. And she's like, if it's a fairy, then it'll do something. It'll change or something. It'll attack me. There's no way it could be that easy. But the wolf just kind of sits there. And he's looking at her judgmentally.
And she's like, well, I don't appreciate you looking at me like that. So she kills him.
Yeah.
And she's like,
it's a suspicious how the wolf just lets her kill him. But, well, and it just keeps giving her this look like, I can't believe you would do this. Not cool, bro.
Yeah. I wouldn't have shot you in the eye with an arrow.
So she skins the wolf. She's got a big old wolf pelt that'll sell for some money at market. And she's got
as long as it doesn't transform back, yeah. And yeah.
Then she's just carrying human skin. She walks out of the wood like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She's just wearing his face. Oh. She has dreams about that, though. They do address that. That's a pretty horrifying nightmare.
Unfortunately, that doesn't actually happen, but yeah, I could see that being like, oh my God, he transformed back.
Clive Barker's A Court of Thorns and Roses. We have such sights to show you. You haven't watched Hellraiser. Somebody out there has watched Hellraiser.
I know what a Hellraiser is. Is that hell?
Do you? Because it's a Cenobite, not a Hellraiser.
Yeah, I know what they're called,
no,
Ben.
Didn't.
You know why I know it? Because of Cabin in the Woods.
That's just sad. So she comes back. She's got this pelt. This is gonna be a long ass summary, man. So
yeah, it is.
She
figure it's gonna be at least 2 episodes. So
her family's already like scheming on what they're gonna do with this money because they know she's gonna head out and she's gonna sell this belt.
My old cape is a little discolored. I know I bought it a month ago, but like I need a new one. I know your shoes are literally falling apart and you're like walking barefoot in the snow essentially, but like think about me and my needs. You can have my old cape, you can wrap those around your feet. You dirty,
wrap these
disgusting
hands around your neck. I don't know if that would warm you up, but it would definitely solve your problem and mine.
Yes, I like that. Farah's one hope and goal in life is that her sisters get married off, so that it's just her and her dad, and she only has 2 mouths to feed.
Yeah, Farah's
She's like
I'm really sick of being a single mother to this whole thing. I don't even think she's the oldest.
No, I think she's the youngest.
Yeah.
Which is even weirder. You think it should be? I think Nesta's the oldest.
Yeah.
She's not providing for the family though.
Yeah, but so Farah sells the pelt to this really beefy lady.
She's a mercenary.
I don't know if she's gonna come back. She's a very detailed character. I know she comes back a little bit, but like I want to know her story.
Yeah,
she's the only human I've met so far that can fight anything.
Yeah, she fought a fae, and she got its poison in her, and it's gonna kill her someday. But she got it before it got her. God damn it!
Which is not a common thing. Normally, it's a very one-sided fight. But there's a treaty. It says they're not supposed to do that. So if a fairy kills you, you just let them know that that's illegal.
Yes. I would like to file a complaint. There's also the children of the whatever who worship fairies for some reason, and then...
They're hot.
I mean...
Well, there's a lot of reasons to worship fairies. They're essentially gods. They live forever. They could kill you with a wave of their hand.
I don't think they live forever, but I think
make
they live
food
a
appear and
long
disappear.
time.
They can...
Yeah, it would be nice if they would use some of that for, like, poor-ass people like Farah, but, you know.
Nope, you ruined it.
Yeah. So, they're back at their little, what did he call it, hovel that night, when
Cottage.
Roaring snow just blows into the room. I like hovel.
All right, I'm going to break down the door.
No, let me do it.
Charles, that's never gone well.
Yes, but I've been practicing.
All right, fine. You get one try.
Thank you.
Police, hands in the air!
I did it! Yes!
And the fucking Beast from Beauty and the Beast is here, yelling at people, calling him murderer, and Farah. I like that Farah never wants to go down without a fight. Every time she's at least like, I want a weapon so I can swing something. Like, I want to hit them as they're disemboweling me.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
Yeah. To an almost suicidal extent, I would say. But yeah.
Yeah. So she tries to defend herself. That goes poorly. And then she's like, okay, alright, if you're gonna kill me a life for a life, like, could you do it outside? My family doesn't need to see this. Really,
It's
though.
just like, yeah, we do.
Yeah. Could you disembowel me in a way that gets my organs all over them? I want to give them all PTSD from
Honest to God, that would be my one wish. If I was standing there in front of that family, that would be my one wish, is like, I want you to make them watch. Look, if you're gonna put my insides on the outside, I want some of it to get on Nesta. This is my blood, Nesta. This is my fucking blood. Are you happy now? Tamlin is like, what the fuck did I walk into?
So yeah, he's like, well, there's a loophole in this treaty. I could spare your life, and then you'll just have to live with me forever in Prithian. That's where they're from. And she decides to go with that one. And her dad is like in a touching farewell, like, Farah, don't come back.
Deal.
And yeah, I was kind of like, I wouldn't want to, but okay.
God, like, the Farah thing, like, okay. You spend the whole book thinking, like, okay, yes, this is all too good to be true. I get you. I get where you're coming from. But, like, also, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I know she's just waiting for the other shoe to drop, but, like, Farah, you were like weeks from death.
By starvation, yeah.
Yeah. Like, just let it go. So he takes her back to his palatial estate.
Yeah.
In the magical woods where the sun always shines, the birds sing, there's like spirits that'll just like give you a soothing massage. There's like it's just
There's
amazing.
Rows
it's the
on
best,
rows of food.
It's the best place in the world.
Yeah.
And
she's
Farah's just
so
plotting her
suspicious.
escape.
Yeah.
Just plotting
Just constantly like, how can I get out of this? At one point, she like pockets a knife from the table. Like, I assume it was like a bread knife or something. Even like,
Yeah, she
pocket
acknowledges
this
it's not going to do much, but it's better than nothing.
She sets up a snare for someone entering her room so she can like get them.
Yeah, and like every fairy there could just rip her arms off.
Yeah.
But the whole time she's thinking, like, even when she's in luxury, you know, she's thinking like, I'm just sitting here stuffing my face while my family is starving. And I'm like,
That
you know,
sounds
the thing
pretty
with
awesome to me.
the thing with the dad, I like that, you know, they make it seem like at the moment where Farah is about to be taken, you know, I think the dad offers to go in her stead or something, and like,
And Tamlin was like,
Tamlin was like,
nope.
it's not that kind of tree.
Yep,
Sorry,
nope, sorry,
I'm
man.
flattered, but no. So, but like her siblings are even trying to defend her a little bit. They lie for her. They say they don't know anything about the pelt. You know, they're not like total scum, but even so, when she's sitting there at this estate going like, oh, I'm enjoying all this luxury and my family suffers. It's like, fuck them. Dude, they suck. But you know the cool thing? Tamlin, the beast from Beauty and the Beast, he's not a beast all the time.
Yeah, he isn't. But he is wearing like a weird mask all the time. Like he's in a masquerade party permanently. Like
all
I
of them
am.
are wearing a weird mask. Yeah, like you do fucking wear a masquerade mask all the time. But he doesn't wear that dorky smoking jacket.
He should. I think that he would find that it's much easier to charm the ladies when you're wearing his smoking jacket.
I'll have to ask the ladies. But everybody's wearing a masquerade mask.
Yeah, isn't that weird, Ben?
It
must
weird.
be. It must be some sort of high fae fashion, like to be as douchey as possible, right?
Oh, you acknowledge it's douchey to just wear that around?
No, Ben. Cut that. Only if you're a fairy. It's okay if you're a person, right?
It's okay if you're a learned doctor sitting in your 4-bedroom estate.
Making food appear. Yeah.
Getting your cheeseburgers constantly delivered without cheese. It's the one curse. You'll never have cheese on a burger again. But no, it is especially weird because later on we'll find out that a number of the fairies do not actually look like humans at all. And they were glamored, but he kept the mask on them. They're all still, like, you can still see the mask. But she can't see that the one, like her handmaid, is a tree person. Sorry,
is her handmaid a tree person?
Yeah, did you not get that? Alice?
No!
Or whatever? Yeah, her skin's like bark. They talk about it all the time.
Oh my god. I thought they were just talking about colors, Ben.
Hang on. I'm going to look up fan art.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god. What is wrong with me?
How did you not notice?
I don't know, Ben.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, so he kept the mask on Alice, the handmaid, but she looks like a person until later, and then she's a tree person.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, okay. Maybe maybe audiobooks don't count as reading.
I remember her being like, "What's up with her? Like, her skin looks completely different." And I was like, "Ah, yeah." I didn't realize that like her skin was made of tree bark.
I'm sorry, so you thought Tamlin just made her look like a white person? That was your reading of the book?
I was wondering why he would do
Oh god.
Maybe humans are all racist, Ben. We don't know for sure. So we've got to make everyone white just in case until they're ready to see other.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm dying.
Okay, so that's Alice, I guess. Is her name Alice or is it like Elise?
Alice
Okay.
in the audio book.
Okay, so we got Alice there, and then we got Lucian, who is Tamlin's right-hand man.
He has a fox mask on.
He has a
And
fox mask.
he's got red hair.
That means he's hot-blooded in the Korean romance comic genre.
And he is kind of hot-blooded in this, so...
Well, and Rice is definitely the cold Duke of the North. Big Duke of the North energy.
Well, he is in the northmost
Fucking
court,
hell.
and...
This lady reads manhwa. I'm calling it.
I'm
This
sorry.
lady reads
What?
manhwa. That's a Korean manga.
Why don't we just call it, like, Korean manga or comic books from Korea, Ben?
Well, if you'd listened to my other podcast,
I will not,
Nathaniel,
sir.
you would know I got like a whole thing about that.
We both
I
know
agree
I
with you.
don't listen to things properly because you would come off as a tree person in that, and I wouldn't know.
What do you mean you're on another podcast? How long has this been going on? What do you mean years?
I put manhwa in, and it's just a bunch of what look like raw meat, Ben.
Manhwa.
Oh, I put manwah, which looks like Taiwanese hot pot or something. It looks delicious. I kind of want this now. Is there a way I can get this?
Oh, probably. We'll look into that. But anyway, Lucian, right-hand man. But he's kind of a snarky guy.
Yeah.
He's always razzing her for, murdering his friend and skinning him.
Hey,
selling
if he
the
didn't want to be
skin.
murdered and skinned, he would have put up more of a fight. Dude went down like a bitch.
You're not wrong, Nathaniel. That's an interesting point.
No, I'm just that talented. Fairy came in my woods. I dealt with it.
Yeah, what is their excuse for him being there?
He was sent out to look for a cure to a plague, Ben. There's a plague affecting this here then our lands, where our magic has been severely reduced, and time is running out for
That's
the
why they're all
plague.
wearing the masks too, because they were having a masquerade when the magic just went nuts.
Yeah, they were having a masquerade, as you do, and the magic went crazy, and now they can't take those masks off, except when they transform into beasts.
How
Could
sweaty
you
is
transform
it?
into a version of yourself that doesn't have a mask on?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Can they glamour the mask away? Maybe it's like hacks.
A glamour
but
is like an illusion, and we should probably point that
Okay,
out.
if you don't know what a glamour is,
I don't know how
and
you
you're-
wouldn't know, but
Yeah, and you're reading
think about you,
fantasy
James.
romance. Yeah.
If you want the biscuits, you gotta glamour the gravy.
Put alcohol in it, drink a pint of it, and
Yeah.
review it. I demand it. Jamie, this has to be your Christmas blog. Come on. So you've heard of eggnog, but what about meat nog? Fuck, man, Man, that just totally blew my train of thought. Now I'm just thinking about alcoholic gravy. Come on, Ben. Court of Thorns and Roses, Lucian Fox, Fairy Lies. Okay, so we found out a couple of things about the fairy lore that would. I kind of didn't like this actually because like for a second the fairies were somewhat balanced.
Yeah, they can't lie. They can't lie, Ben. They're incapable of lying.
Historically, fairies can't lie and they don't like iron. That's like a thing in all mythology.
And that's true of this, right?
Nope.
What?
They can tank iron like a champ, and they've been lying constantly, especially about not being able to lie. In fact, Farah, 99% of the things I say to you are a lie.
Not intentional, though, right?
I don't know, kinda. So, like, there's a curse, right? We'll find out there's a curse, and that's going to be, like, a big thing. But, okay, so he has to lie about some things. Like, he's not allowed to tell her certain things. You know, Beauty and the Beast style. She got to fall in love with him on her own. But, then there's this other thing where it's like, I've got to do this sex ritual, and I really need you to not show up because people will murder you if you're there. But I can't tell you it's a sex ritual.
Why not?
I guess he could. Well, he could, but
have.
that kind of fucks up his plan. Yeah, because, like, I'm not going to fall in love with you if you're out doing sex rituals, you know?
Well, okay, granted, but, like, you know.
I guess I get why he tried to lie about that. You would just think maybe he'd put more thought into it.
Hey, I've got a really awesome party, and it's gonna be so great. There's gonna be so many fairies. Stay in your room and don't come out until tomorrow. All right, bye.
Yeah, because that's what he does. Because like everybody is like super hyped. They're bringing out the chips and dip. You know, it's like they're getting ready to party, right? But then he's like, "But you can't come. No humans allowed. That's not racist. It's just a thing for your safety."
Yeah.
And Feyre has a good history at that point of listening to simple instructions for her safety.
Yeah, she definitely did not sneak out at all. And almost get murdered. Or worse.
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left.
Yes, I have.
Look!
It's just a flesh wound.
So I would say the book is probably split into like
3 chunks.
Almost more than 3 chunks, like 3 chunks and 2 interludes. So
Okay.
the beginning is like a prologue. The beginning's not that long before she gets to Tamlin's estate.
Right. And then she spends a really long time on the estate.
Yeah.
First, she wants to escape, and then she starts to go. Like Tamlin didn't tell her this before, but he was like, "Look, you haven't let your mom down. I mean, okay, you have, but like no one can satisfy your mom. She sounds like a real big piece of shit." Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm like fucking fabulously wealthy, okay? Like you don't know this yet, or maybe you do, I don't remember, but you're gonna find out I'm the High Lord of this estate. I am the ruler of this entire court, alright? And I gave your family, like, let's say, like, 0.5% of my wealth, and they are now dirty, stinking fucking rich. They're so fucking loaded. They're in, like, a giant mansion. Like, you being here on my estate is the best thing for them because they are just living the high life. And I glamored them. So they don't even know that a monster came in the middle of the night and stole you, okay? Like, they think you're visiting your old Aunt Agatha or whatever, and you're tending to her, and, you know, you'll come back someday maybe, but you actually won't ever, but, you know.
Well, you also got to imagine, like, when she first gets to the estate, Tamlin is very much like the Beast from the cartoon Beauty and the Beast. I have not read the book. I'm basing this entirely off of the cartoon.
You're a bookman.
So,
but I also haven't read the book.
So you know how in the cartoon he doesn't know how to like speak to girls, and he's just like screaming at her all the time.
You'll come out or I'll break down the door!
Master,
I could be wrong, but that may not be the best way to win the girl's affections.
Please, attempt to be a gentleman.
But she is being so difficult.
Gently, gently.
Will you come down to dinner?
No.
Where are the drugs, Bill? Swear to me.
And that's kind of Tamlin. Like,
This is my sexy talk.
Tamlin's like, so, how are your human female things? And she's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I'm sorry you lived in such squalor. Is that a normal human thing to be so fucking poor?
Yeah.
This is me showing concern to you.
Yeah, he's like, so, like, okay, for real though, why don't you like hanging out at my court? Like, you want to go back to where you were? I legit don't understand.
Are we really that hideous to you? Like, come on.
Come on, look, and he's just flexing his pecs like one at a time.
Yeah.
Boom,
Come on.
boom, boom, boom.
There is a point where she's like, I did have kind of a lover, like a stablemate or whatever. We shacked up a few times in the barn, and he's like,
is he bigger than me?
Yeah. You not say I work out, okay?
No, I don't even work out. This is just natty.
This is me rolling out of bed every day for the last 100 years. I came up like this.
Yeah.
I'm chiseled from marble. You want to go back to, like, some fucking stable hand boy, whatever?
Yeah, you want to go back to Jim Fuckwit? I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I've got stable hands here. They're way hotter than him. And I'm hotter than them. So, like, I'm several tiers above that guy. Come on. Come on!
The weird thing is, Tamlin actively trying to talk to her on numerous occasions, can't make any headway. She's confused.
He's like, hey, I want to show you my estate. Nah, I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. But I have nothing else to do today other than, be around here to show you, my estate. Like, yeah, I'm good. Bye.
So she's afraid of him because he can, like, rip her arms off at the socket. But
from across the room, he could just be on top of her, killing her in an instant.
And Alice keeps trying to put her in these sexy dresses, and she's like, no, I just want to be in my tunic and trousers. And Alice is like, this is fucking impossible.
I think Alice even said, like she was like, you changed my clothes? Oh my god. And Alice is like, here are your clothes. They literally fell apart when I tried to wash them.
And Feyre's like, well, I'm still not wearing this dress. So she winds up warming up to Lucian. And she warms up to Lucian based on a just mutual dislike. Like, Lucian hates her and tells her that all the time, but she respects him for his honesty, I guess.
Yeah, you killed my friend. You just murdered him.
Yeah, because he's always asking her, like, oh, you must be, like, some great hunter, like, oh, you like killing fairies, huh?
Did you enjoy it when you murdered my friend?
Oh, man, and that's the other thing where I got to remind myself, 19-year-old girl, not 36-year-old angsty man, because it's like, yeah, I'm warming up to it. Yeah, I think I can think of another fairy I might want to kill. Yeah.
Well, I gotta go patrol today. Sorry, I can't go hunting with you. Normally this is Anders' patrol, or what's his name? That's not his name. Andrus. This is normally Andrus's patrol, but like, some asshole decided to fucking kill him in cold blood, so...
Oh, I'm sorry, Cyclops. Are you a little sad your depth perception's off?
Yeah, we forgot to mention one of his eyes is mechanical.
Yeah. Oh, God. But Lucian's cool. I like him.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. So Lucian's cool, and so like they start going on these rides.
Yeah.
Around on horses around the thing. Sorry. Forgot what I was talking about. So they warm up, and she needs to ask a question.
Is there a loophole out of this whole treaty thing where I can just, like, murder your friend but then not have to pay a debt to you guys? Is that... Can I go back to living in squalor, please?
Like, he doesn't like her, she doesn't like him. So maybe he'll be able to convince Tamlin to just let her go. And, you know, Lucian's giving her the old, you know, as much as I do hate you, and I genuinely hate you because you suck, I can't get you out of this. Treaty is rock solid. Never read the treaty. Oh, you can't read. Nice.
Got him.
Never been so much easier.
How funny would that have been if they were like, all right, you can read this treaty, and it's like the back of a cereal box, but she would never know.
They're just trying to figure out if she can read. Because I think they don't quite get it at first. Like, she's trying to teach herself how to read because she's thinking maybe she can write a letter to her family to get to warn them that there's this, like, blight impacting the fairies and that, you know, they might need to get out. And so she's like trying to teach herself how to read so she can write this letter. And he keeps finding just like lists of words she's written down to look up. And like Tamlin's like, teasing her about it.
Yeah, is this like a poem about how you plan on disemboweling and murdering me? And she's just like, I need to go. I'm embarrassed as all shit that you found that. Bye. He just like keeps going at her.
I mean, she knows what the words mean, but she doesn't know what they are written down. So when he reads the list to her, she's like, ah, fuck, that's what that was. And it makes so much sense when he says it. He just rattles them off, and she's like, I can definitely read. Goodbye. So he starts writing poetry with those. He takes her list and he writes a little poem with it. A saucy limerick that gets increasingly saucy. He wrote like 15 of these things, and he just keeps reading these dirty limericks to her. It's like, does anyone work? Does anyone on the fairy thing work?
No, Ben, they're in
Does
a
anyone have
manor.
job?
If there's anything I know about manners, and everything I know about is from early 1900s, late 1800s British books, it's that if you have a manor, you don't have to work. People work for you, and you just have money.
Well, it's kind of true today as well. But today you also, well, I guess in back then too, you got to lecture people about not working harder to have what you had because you worked so hard for it, despite being born into it.
Hey, I worked really hard to be born into it. You know how hard it was to be both the correct egg and sperm cell to create myself?
His dad barely even owned that emerald mine. You know? I don't know why everybody makes such a big deal about the emerald mine. We barely owned it. We owned it for like 2 years.
I wonder who you're talking about, Ben. I don't know anyone with an emerald mine. Tamlin's dad
doesn't know how to run a social media network.
Doesn't know how to run most things, it sounds like. He's a big old fucking idiot. Anyway...
Tamlin's not like Elon Musk. Tamlin's good.
Tamlin wanted to be a minstrel, or perhaps a soldier, or perhaps both. Maybe like a D&D bard. But then his dad got godded, and, well, also so did his brothers, so he had to take over.
Yeah, there's a thing going on where Tamlin... I thought I would have this problem. And I still kind of
too hot, and
no,
you would get all bothered, and you couldn't finish the book because you're too busy. You know, go on, Ben.
Yeah.
What was your problem?
So I thought my problem would be, I get why she likes him, but why does he like her? But as time went on, I still think it's a pretty unequal relationship at this point. Obviously, I think in the future books they're gonna.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
how it ended, there's no doubt in my mind it's gonna be a little more equal in a bit.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. But there is a reason he kind of likes her, or he starts to warm up to her, and he starts to understand that she didn't have it easy growing up. She felt the responsibility to take care of a bunch of people who didn't necessarily understand what she was going through, the burden that put on her, or how miserable it made her. And he she gets it. She gets what it's like to be him to an extent. And he is surprised that he can relate to that. He's constantly surprised at how she's able to like deal with all of her problems. And it's not a lot, but it's a hook. It's better than nothing, which is what so many of these romance books would be. It's what Belle is in Twilight. Or not Bella. God, Beauty and the Beast in Twilight. Jesus Christ. It's what Bella is in Twilight. There's no reason to like Bella in Twilight. She's nothing. She's just a blank slate.
What? But she's so special and awesome, Ben. She's got nice smelling blood, and she's plain, and like she's got that northwestern charm.
She's not like other girls.
She's not like other girls.
She's kind of like every girl. But she's
it's like she was
weird.
designed to be that.
She's not afraid of death. I found it. I think he found it very attractive. The most attractive thing about a woman to Edward Cullen is if she likes him.
Yeah, I think most people, especially at the age that he was stuck in for the last 100 years. I'm telling you, in high school, having a girl being interested in you is definitely the most attractive thing a girl can do.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I'll give you that. You're not wrong.
Yes, no, it definitely. I like that you were concerned about that, and then almost immediately the part in the book came up where you start realizing why Tamlin does like her.
Yeah, it was the right pacing too. I will say that.
Yes, it took a while for them to warm up to one another.
Yeah, it was right on the edge of getting a little tedious, and then they did move on. So I liked that. But also I picked up, right off the bat, I was telling you, I was like, okay, so obviously he wants her for something.
What? No, Ben. He's just a really nice guy who brought her here as part of the treaty. It was a life for a life. And when someone murders your friend and you, set them up in luxury and you have servants wait on them hand and foot and
look, I could buy that if you found out that your dude was murdered by a teenage girl who did not fully understand the consequences of her actions. I could understand, and the only two options are you kill her or you let her live on the estate. I could understand choosing to let her live on the estate. It's mercy. But why would he be so interested in getting to know her?
Because we're going to be living together for a while. I might as well know you, right?
Yeah, why is he inviting her to dinner? Why
are we taking romantic horse rides across my estate? I mean, it's because I do this with everyone who comes. Like Lucian, when he first came into my court, I was just constant, nonstop romantic candlelit dinners. You know what I'm saying?
Could not keep my hands off his ass. HR had to get involved. It was a serious problem. He lost an eye over it. What? I'm talking about
Nate's work, previous job.
Shy, if you want context, you're just gonna have to listen to the episode.
You're paying for it.
The one olive branch, and this might be the point where we come close to wrapping.
Well, first, Ben, I wanted to mention one thing because I put it in my notes. You never follow a puka to a second location.
Okay, so let's talk about the puka and the surreal.
The bog monster.
What did they call that? How was that pronounced? Was it bog?
Bog. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was bog or bogey. I'm glad.
Okay, I didn't know how it was spelled because I was like, I don't think it's actually B-O-G, but that's how they pronounced it.
It's B-O-G-G-E.
Okay, yeah. So on one of their many rides, Lucian is like, stop here, stare straight ahead, do not look at anything, no matter how hard it tells you. Like, just do as I say.
Me. Just look at me. Turn around and look at me. But if you look at it, you die.
Yeah.
Just don't look around. It's that movie, Don't Turn Around.
Yeah. And that's the thing where, like, I think it was described as, like, it doesn't actually exist until you make it exist by looking at it. And then it fucking destroys you. And only Tamlin can handle it. And he does. He just goes out and slaughters it. And then there is a Puka, which shapeshifts into her dad of all things. And it was very obvious that her dad did not come to rescue her.
Come to the gate. Come here. What if I'm your sister? Will you come here now? I'm your sister.
You know what's funny?
I'm your other sister.
Later we find out that
I'm Johnny Fuckwit, unbuttoning my shirt in the barn. Come here.
She's like tiptoeing around and trying to be all sneaky, but she doesn't realize that she's been glamored, and there's like probably like 100 servants just like that she can't see, just chilling out. So she's probably like hiding right in front of them, and they're just looking at her like, what the fuck?
One of those servants is sitting there like, I'm your maid. You don't even know I exist, but I know everything about you.
Yeah, sure, Ben. I know that I don't like it when you don't eat at Olive Garden with me, and I'm going to frame you for murder.
Hey, you know what? That's what Amarantha's up to. This all started with an Olive Garden.
But basically the idea is that the barriers between the courts is faltering because of this plague, Ben. And also more and more bad creatures are getting into the woods, and Tamlin's having to get rid of them.
Yep.
And so, let's talk about the Suriel. Is that where you want to wrap up for now?
Yes.
All right.
Because I think next time we'll talk about her falling for Tamlin, like how they eventually do start to romance and where that relationship goes.
Spoilers, Ben. I didn't think that they'd actually hook up.
Oh yeah, I didn't think. Hang on, what's the back of the book say?
Something about how sometimes she likes him being a beast. Is that?
At least he's not a beast all the time.
I mean,
with
sometimes.
19-year-old Huntress Farah, they got that out of the way right up front.
Yeah, there you go. Good call. Good call.
So she wants to try to find a way out of this treaty. And she overhears that there is a creature called the Suriel, which if you catch it, it has to answer your question, and it knows everything. And you let it go.
I cannot tell a lie.
Yeah, this time, but this legend's definitely true. This guy can't lie.
Yeah.
I guess. And then you get his lucky charms, and then you got to get away before he gets you. So Lucian gives her a knife, and he tells her how to catch the Suriel, but he's real coy about it. He's real like, if I were to tell somebody how to do it, this is how it would be done.
If I killed her, this is how I would have done it.
Yep. Real O.J. Simpson, Lucian. So, kinda. I mean, he kinda almost gets her killed. So, she goes into the woods. She got to sneak past a lot of spooky stuff, and he tells her, like, you go into those woods, you catch the Suriel. If shit goes south, you give me a signal, and the signal is you scream like you're about to die. And then I will come running into the woods, probably.
This is accurate to how he described this.
So he gives her a knife. She's got a bow. She's got some arrows. She's got a chicken because Suriel likes chicken, and she's gonna lure him out. So she lures him out. She snares him, and he's like surprisingly cool. You got me. Okay, what's your question? And she asks him about the treaty. He's like, you can't get out of the treaty. You're stuck. And in fact, You should stay with the fairy lord. You stay by his side. That is where you are safe. Do not leave his side. You should definitely stay with the fairy lord. Never leave. I'm going to repeat this one more time for your stupid, thick human brain. Do not, under any circumstances, leave the fairy lord. Repeat it back to me once so I know you got it, okay?
Sorry to interrupt, but we don't want you giving away everything, so we're here to capture the cereal and probably eat the human.
So a bunch of Naga show up, that was an interesting crossing of lores, I guess. The Naga show up and they're like snake fairies. And they're going to kill her and the cereal. She's got one shot. She's got one surprise attack before they got to roll for initiative. She's not sure where does she shoot. Does she shoot the Naga and does she run away, or does she free the cereal by shooting his rope with an arrow? Which is, I don't think that's going to work. But yeah,
no,
it's still tied around his feet. I mean, she's gonna shoot literally the knot.
Yeah,
okay.
It's called being. She's a crack shot who could see stuff from hundreds of yards away, Ben.
She's trained much in the eyes of a marksman. That's how she took down that wolf.
Yeah.
Was it a trickster deity? High strangeness. What are these snake things? Where did they come from? Possibly the anomaly? I don't know. So it's a 15 DC and she rolls a 16. So she shoots the knot and the cereal is free and he runs away. But now you gotta initiate combat. You get 2 movements per turn if you forfeit your action. So she starts running. A Naga catches up to her. She stabs it in the face. That kills it. I was surprised. I thought it wasn't that easy to kill a fairy. But if you're a Naga, it is.
Yeah, apparently these are bitch fairies.
Yeah, you could just slit their throat if it's a Naga. Yeah, obviously.
I think she shot one, right? She shot one with an arrow and just ran away and it was dead.
She takes out like half of these things. She just bullies these Naga.
There are 4 of them and she takes them out. One of them pins her down, is like, I'm gonna bleed you slow, and she stabs it in the neck.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Yeah, it doesn't heal. It doesn't regenerate. These things are super easy to kill. I don't even know why Tamlin's sweating all this shit. I don't even know why the human armies are not just storming fairylands. It's like, most of them suck. There's a couple of them that are going to be hard to take out, but yeah, we could probably do this. Cluster bombs. Anyway. Tamlin shows.
I was gonna say we could just get lances full of ashwood. I mean,
we could. I mean, they make it.
Could I just make a really spiky armor made of ashwood? So if you attack me, you hurt yourself.
Oh yeah. No, I'm thinking like we all get like. I think they actually make jousting lances out of ash. I think you could buy this.
There you go.
But I know they burned all the ash groves down or something. It's kryptonite to Superman. It's hard to find.
Most of them.
Yeah, the nobles still have some.
We really need to synthesize this.
Synthesize this.
You need to start growing ash
has
in the lab.
fucking seeds, for God's sake. You just plant them and then you get more. I know it takes like 10 years, but invest, people. But then... So Lucian promised he was going to save her. So she's just got to run until she gets to Lucian. But it's not Lucian that saves her. It's Tamlin, and he is in beast mode.
You better put some music into that, Ben. There's literally a song called Beast Mode.
There's a dozen songs called Beast Mode.
Yeah, Ben. You're welcome.
But you know I'm putting in the Transformers Beast Wars theme song.
So he effortlessly slaughters them like they were nothing because they were nothing.
Goes Optimus Primal on his ass.
God fucking damn it.
Anyways, Tamlin saves her. Is this where he gets a scratch? Or does he get a scratch from killing the Bogue?
I can't remember what it was where he got all fucked up, but it wasn't here.
We'll talk about Tamlin's scratch on the next episode. So keep that in mind. At some point, Tamlin's going to get scratched. And that's going to inconvenience him somewhat. But yeah, Tamlin saves her, and he's like, "Don't go out of the house." But this is where, like, I think we're really starting to warm up. But so she knows she's stuck now, and yeah, I think we'll end there. We'll resume with the romance and the absolute out of nowhere, like, final part of the book where it gets just like really dark and weird.
It does get very dark very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, 90% of this book is her walking around a flower garden with Tamlin, and like 10% of this book is
yeah, really, it's mostly young adult until the end, where it's like, oh yeah, this is.
It's like the last 10% of this book is like, I'm like, she is not going to be normal after this. This is fucked up. Okay, so yeah, that's probably why I like it.
Yeah, you would.
I like it. The trauma makes it real. That's what cements it in our minds, Nathaniel. So yeah, I hope you stay tuned for part 2 of Clive Barker Presents A Court of Thorns and Roses. Hunt for the Feywalker.
Plug all the plugs that we're plugging, and then keep plugging some more, and then...
Yeah. All right. What do? We have a blog at blog.wordsaboutbooks.ninja where we post my actual reviews of the books without all our stupid jokey jokes and sarcastic nonsense. We have threads and an Instagram at Words About Books Podcast. If you must DM me on Twitter, I will check it one day at WAB Pod. Probably a better way to reach out to me if you have some need to actually contact me is Words About Books Podcast at gmail.com. Got a Discord. Link will be in the description wherever you saw this episode. All the links are in the description wherever you saw this episode. We probably don't even need to do this part anymore except for the Patreon, which is at patreon.com/WABpod. Seamless transition. And some of the patrons, most of the patrons, too many of the patrons, give us a Yacht Plan tier support. And that earns them shout-outs, where I will often shout out to their projects as well, if they have any that they would like me to plug. First among those patrons, not really, there's no order, there's no particular order, but I'm going to say Jamie, Gravy Man of the If You Want the Gravy blog. You should check out his blog. He reviews movies and perhaps alcoholic gravy. I'm really twisting his arm on that one. And then we got Spooky Shy with a Y at TikTok. We have Isekai Sensei Sama. He already got a plug, but I'll do it one more time. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster podcast. There is a sub-series to that podcast called Heroin Addiction, where we read things very similar to A Court of Thorns and Roses. So if you like this episode, you'd probably like those episodes. Then we have John Bierce. John Bierce is an actual author. He has no business contributing to this podcast. He should not, quite frankly. But he has written the Mage Errant series. He has written The Rack. He has a new series coming out. You can also check out his Patreon, where you can read his short stories and vote on which one he will release next. And we have a new patron, Jamie Walker. I do not believe Jamie Walker has given me a project to plug, but just know, Jamie Walker's cool. Hi, Jamie. Nate, give me a closing argument, something really like sassy I can just end the episode with. Now just imagine him doing that wearing his stupid masquerade mask and his smoking jacket. And that's what I live with. Because there's Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. Optimus Primal is from the future, but he traveled into the past.
Are you talking to your wife? What?
No. I thought you said something. And
you're like having a conversation with yourself. Yeah, it came out a month ago, Ben.
Sweet. I will watch it on streaming. I've never seen another Transformers movie. I might be confused.